Hello there, Into the Time Knife listeners. My name is Zach, and I'm the bearer of bad news because Stephen Baker isn't here right now. But don't click pause, don't exit out, don't leave us yet, because you're going to get to hear his lovely voice and delightful laugh in a few minutes. I'm not leaving you empty-handed for the week. I've got a little surprise for you. But it's December 17th right now, about 1:30 p.m. Sunday, the day before I'm going to put this out. It's been a little hard to get together every week because it's the holidays and record, but it's been important to us to get the show out to you guys every week with little specials and what we can put out to keep this train chugging. And then last night, to make up for lost time, we were supposed to get together and record the second half of the season 4 premiere on A Girl from Arizona Part 2, and Steven's voice was scratchy. So we decided, okay, I'm a dictator, but I'm a kind dictator. I'll let Steven get a little bit of sleep. Maybe his voice will feel a little better, get him some herbal tea, and we'll record the next day. We were supposed to get together today, the day before that podcast was meant to drop, and record it. And Steven's not feeling well. Danny's not feeling well. We think it's tuberculosis. They've got days, hours left of their short, fleeting life. So I'm letting them off the hook, and we're not going to record a podcast today. And we don't have a Good Place podcast to put out today. But like I said, I don't want to leave you empty-handed. So I've got a little surprise drop from the Patreon feed for you. But first, speaking of Patreon, I do want to shout out while I'm here our $10 and up patrons over at patreon.com/can'tdisappointpodcast. Those people, of course, are Mary Baker Budisa, Danny M. Lugo, Justin Fortier, and Lil Shaker. Thank you so much for your support, even when we are at kind of the slower period of the year because it's the holidays. We still appreciate the support that these people are giving to us every month and every week by supporting us at patreon.com/can'tdisappointpodcast. And if you've never supported us over there, the beginning of the month in January, the beginning of the year is a good time to start because they charge you at the first of the month no matter when you join. And we've got 3 years of back catalog content for you to go through. There's 120 something episodes of You Can't Disappreciate Show, our live kind of talk radio show that we do every week before we record the podcast. You can watch and react to that and chat with us live every week if you're a patron, or you can go back and listen to or watch all the episodes that we've done of it so far. Also on the Patreon on Thursdays, as you know, we do The Basement, our That 70s Show rewatch podcast. We're wrapping up season 1 over there, so it's a good time to join, even if just for a month, to catch up on all of the Basement episodes. And that's totally fine if you just drop in for a month and then head out. We get it. Drop a little coin and run. There's no pressure. I'm losing my mind. It's weird for me to be doing this by myself. So I am going to move on and get to our little surprise drop. We're going to be back next week. We did manage to record our annual Christmas special before Steven came down with the sick. So that's coming out next week on Christmas Day. So if you need a little respite from the drama of Christmas Day, you can slip in a headphone and listen to our annual Christmas special next week on all 3 of our main podcast feeds. And then the following week, which is January 1st on a Monday, we'll be back with a little welcome to the new year, courtesy of Into the Time Knife, courtesy of Zach and Steven on January 1st. And then it's the week after that on Monday, January 8th, when we'll get back into things as planned with A Girl from Arizona Part 2, kind of re-kicking off our coverage of the final season of The Good Place. Maybe this is for the best because we only have a few episodes of The Good Place left, and I'm already sad that we're running out of episodes, so we can stretch it out just a little bit. I hope you'll allow us to do that. So what we're going to do here, and I'm going to get out of here, I'm going to stop talking. I know you're sick of it, but thank you for clicking. Thank you for hanging out with us even when we don't get a full episode out. What I'm going to drop for you is a surprise free feed drop of an episode of that talk radio show we do every week on the Patreon when we record the podcast, You Can't Disappreciate Show. I'm going to share with you guys one of the most iconic recent episodes of You Can't Disappreciate Show, and it's a really embarrassing one to drop because you're going to learn some things about me, about my childhood, that if you would have told me a couple years ago I'd be releasing to the internet and to the world an embarrassing thing about me as a kid, if you would have told me I was going to let you all in on this, I would be really embarrassed, and I kind of still am. But I don't want to leave you empty-handed, so I'm going to give you, this is, I believe, episode 113 of You Can't Disappreciate Show. All of them are on the Patreon at patreon.com/can'tdisappointpodcast. But I know you miss Steven. I miss Steven. So let's get a little bit of that classic Zach and Steven banter with a free episode of You Can't Disagree Show. Thank you. I hope your December is doing well. We'll be back next week with a new Christmas special. And until then, from inside the time knife, Black Lives Matter. I'm Zach, and we will see you next time. Thank you for listening.
Damn, Daniel.
There
Back
he
at it
is.
again with the pre-show.
How's it going, man?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Good call. That was such a funny bit. Here's a question. Do you think the references like that in a show like The Good Place date it, and it's only funny for people like us who remember something like that? Or do you think hearing someone yell, "Damn Daniel," is just always funny?
I think I don't think Gen Z would get it.
Gen Z. What are we?
We're in
What
a really
are
weird spot.
we?
We're technically Gen Y. It's a very small window. We're not millennials. We're not Gen Z. We're certainly not Gen X.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they call us Gen
You're
Y.
the expert. It
Yeah,
sounds
some people
to me
call
like
us
you're the
lost
expert,
generation,
Mark.
but I think that's just us trying to sound cool.
Gen Z.
Yes, you are, Lil Gen Z. You weirdo.
I'm looking it up.
A boomer.
Vamp, how are
Zoomer.
you, Steven? It's good to see you.
Good to see you. I'm good. My voice is still a little hoarse from cheering for people this week, but do what you can.
It says that we are Generation Z on the internet. The Generation Z refers to the generation that was born between 1997 to 2012, following millennials.
Yeah,
That's what
I
it
don't
says.
like that.
This generation
I'd like a
has been
second
raised
opinion.
on the internet and social media, with some of the oldest finishing college by 2020 and entering the workforce.
Exactly. We would have finished college before 2020.
Here's another one. Anyone born between 81 and 96 is considered a millennial, and anyone born from 97 onward was considered Generation Z.
Gonna need a third opinion on that, Zach.
Okay. Generation Z, the Wikipedia page for Generation Z. Let's see. Mid to late 1990s as starting birth years, and the early 2010s as ending birth years. Mid to late 1990s absolutely includes 97. And I also feel like the term millennial, like millennials go back way. A lot of millennials are the people complaining about millennials. Like you are a millennial, you person that's like 38 or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's the 80s are considered. How old is that? If you were born in 1986, that's my sister's age.
86? Yeah. You're 37 right now.
That's not true.
86 year.
No, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
I know
right.
my fucking math. Get off my dick, you bitch.
I got you for a second, though.
Ever
you
question my quick math. If there's like, one thing that Steven Allen
Zach's
Baker can
usually
fucking
right.
do,
Maybe,
it's quick mental
maybe
math.
I didn't know anything the whole time.
You bastard. Hey, buddy, I've missed you. How you doing?
I missed you too. I'm good. I don't feel like I have much to talk about this week, really. And we didn't do a pre-show last week either. It's been 2 full weeks since we've done one of these, and I just feel like I don't really have shit to talk about.
Well, I'll take the reins then.
Okay.
I've had a eventful, busy week. It was Dana's birthday last week.
That's you taking the reins?
Yeah,
that was you taking
I thought you were going to be like, well, yeah,
reins?
Steven, you're right. What have you been up to? I thought that's what you were going to ask me, but I guess I'll just do it myself. Because you ask me what's new, and then I don't ask you.
At really strange times.
I don't have any idea what you're talking.
I know you don't have any idea.
Wow, Zach had Turkish food over the weekend.
It was really good. We had Turkish food Saturday. It was great.
The whole time you were eating, were you like, Istanbul was Constantinople, but Istanbul was Constantinople, ba-dum. Somebody blame it on the Turks.
Okay.
Is that a rude song? Is that true? Culturally inappropriate to sing?
No, well, I mean, I'm not confident.
Do they get upset about that?
No, they don't say blame it on the Turks. They say that's no one's business but the Turks.
Oh, I've always been blaming them for the whole Istanbul, Constantinople.
Istanbul was Constantinople. Now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople.
The works.
Why did Constantinople get the works? That's no one's business but the Turk. That's nobody's business but the Turks.
Well, I had a dance competition this past weekend.
I thought we were talking about me. Turkish food. I got stuff to say now, so your points are invalid. You said yesterday you were leaving a hotel. Where was it?
It was in Chicago. It was at this really cool hotel called the Blue Aqua. It's the one. Have you ever seen the one that looks like it has like waves in the side of it?
I'd like to go to Blue Aqua, but I'd honestly rather go to Haunted House.
Well, yeah, I get it, but Blue Aqua was okay.
I don't know.
I built a deck at Blue Aqua.
I don't remember. That doesn't. Poor Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen that or not, but that's cool. So did you just stay in a hotel because it was covered for you to stay in a hotel? That's pretty cool.
The room was
don't really have to go that far.
There was like a balcony.
And just get a free hotel night. That sounds.
I've never had a hotel with a balcony before.
Like a private balcony to yourself.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It was really cool. Super dangerous, but very cool. I immediately got out there and was like, I could probably jump from my private balcony and walk across that ledge to someone else's private balcony.
Oh my God. Wow. Because the buildings are so packed.
And I was on like the 14th floor.
Wow.
And it was high up in the sky.
Did you get much of a view or was it just buildings?
It was mostly buildings.
Yeah.
But here's what's great about it, Zach. That meant that I could perform whatever nefarious activity I chose to perform under the cover of darkness on said balcony. And just let it rain down to the peons below me.
Do you want to be more specific?
I don't know. I don't think I do. I'm going to let the audience figure out what I was doing. And the audience is Lil and Danny knows.
Lil said, I saw Danny's vid from balcony. It looked cool. I didn't say that. I didn't see that. But at first I thought Lil wrote Denny's. I've seen the view from the Denny's balcony. That was pretty nice.
It's 1:30 a.m. Denny's, open the fuck up. Have you seen that video? The show that band played in a Denny's?
I've seen the meme. I don't think I've seen a video of it.
It's great. It's wholesome. I also I'm a little tired today, Zach. I
can kind of, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I can kind of see it in your eyes a little bit. I feel like when I really get a good look, there's a little bag under the eyes.
Shit on how you feeling now, mad cause he ain't like me. Come on, Zach, sing along. No, you mad cause nobody ever did it like me. All the love we would make, all the care we would take. When I gave to you, Alicia Katia. You got it.
I clearly know the song we're talking about. Alicia, good friend of mine.
Yeah, Katia is more on my end.
I wasn't in Cotillion, but I heard a lot about it.
You kept trying.
They wouldn't let me. I was like, I'm really polite, guys, and they kept saying this isn't for you. And I said, I can lift my.
I already have white gloves. Come on, let me in.
Well, I did as a child go to basketball games dressed up as Michael Jackson. I wish I could tell you that's a bit. I wish I could tell you that's a bit. It's not a bit.
Okay, I was going to talk about the media I consumed this week.
A lot of stuff.
I need you to talk about going to. Yeah. Was it can I make a couple guesses?
Please do.
Okay, so guess number 1 is you were like, you're like, well, if the ball comes to me, I don't want to catch it with my bare hands, so I need a glove. So you're like, well, I can't just have a glove on like a fucking weirdo, so I gotta dress up
around my desire not to be injured by a ball.
That's guess number 1. Option 2.
That's a good guess.
You had to be ready because what if the halftime act that you had seen in so many television shows and cartoons came down with the flu, and they're like, does anyone in the audience have a performance they can give us?
That's closer.
And you were like, just in case, it's like bringing a glove to a baseball game. You got to be ready.
Pass me the mic, coach.
Number 3 is that you didn't want anyone to know that you were at a sporting event because then they would try and make you play sports. And so you're like, what's the thing that's going to tell my parents the most that I don't belong here?
Well,
said, Michael Jackson.
That's probably the farthest. Everyone definitely knew it was me. There was no disguising going on. I wish I had like a fanciful thing. I think it was around the time Michael Jackson died. So 2009, I was like 12. I got
far too old.
You think so? I was a really sheltered kid at a Christian school who really wanted to perform. That was sure a part of it. I get that it was too old. That's why this is a fun story to tell. So I was Michael Jackson for Halloween. I had a glove. It was a different time. I didn't do blackface, but it still is.
Well, you were the white Michael Jackson.
But it's still certainly culturally uncouth of me to have it dressed up as recently.
I don't think so. I think
Michael
that's
Jackson.
okay.
You think it's
you were
okay?
young enough to still dress up.
I got
as
the
somebody
pass
black.
from my black friend. I'm allowed
but
to say
not
it, guys.
Young enough to do it in public.
So when I go on Big Brother and get forcibly removed for saying racial slurs a lot, I'll tell them that I got the pass from Steven. You can watch pre-show number 113. It's in there. It's in writing. Yes, I dressed up as Michael Jackson for Halloween, and then for some reason I just stuck with it and started wearing it a lot. I dressed up in the Michael Jackson costume to see the This Is It movie in the movie theater.
Was anyone else in costume?
No, he had recently died.
Yeah. Because I when Star Wars Episode 3 came out, I wore a Darth Vader helmet and brought a lightsaber. But I was also 6 or 7, but it's okay.
I don't know. I feel like public school 6 is Christian school.
That's fair.
16.
I did dress up as Batman for Christmas once, but again, I was like a
and
solid.
These are fictional characters. Schools have dress up days. Perfect sense. Makes perfect sense to me that you did this. So I dressed up. I'm not saying for years. I feel like I've embiggened the story in my mind.
Zach shows up to his first day of high school.
Well, Lil knows I can't make love unless the glove's on.
Well,
the jacket doesn't fit so well anymore, but the tatters of it remain.
It's more you just wear it as cufflinks.
There's a picture of me as Michael Jackson in a Liberty Christian School yearbook.
That's great.
I guess. The last thing I want to mention, since this
you're
came
so
up,
brave.
I know. I think about that a lot. In that way, in a lot of ways, I wish I had a fraction of the unearned confidence and lack
you
of
dressed
awareness.
Up to go see This Is It, a documentary about Michael Jackson's tour that never happened.
Yeah,
I did also see it in the theater, and it
was great.
I liked it. I loved it. That was really well done.
Loved it. I had the DVD. I had the
Me too.
I had the soundtrack. I had it all.
Solid.
I had it all. I had a couple plans for the Michael Jackson character that never came to fruition, and it's probably for the best that it didn't. There was Halloween, the same Halloween, I guess, probably. This all happened within a couple months of each other, that someone had a Halloween party, and I said, you know what? I'm going to commit to learning the entire Thriller dance, and I'm going to perform it at this Halloween party. So I found this YouTube video that was 30 10-minute parts of how to learn the entire Thriller dance, and I got maybe 2 or 3 through them, sitting in my family room at my parents' house while everyone else is in other rooms, standing in front of the desktop computer learning the Thriller dance.
Nice. And did you practice in costume?
No, maybe that's why it didn't work
the weight,
out. I wasn't.
You need to get used to the weight.
I wasn't channeling the spirit. I didn't get very far into that until I realized I've never danced before.
I think you could have done it. Thriller dance isn't that hard. It's just a lot to remember.
I think at the time, and I was dressing up like Michael Jackson at the basketball games, but at the time, I think I had the foresight to at a point be like, what am I doing here? I'm going to make everybody watch me do the Thriller dance by myself. What's going to happen? Am I going to get a kiss out of this? I don't think so.
The best thing that could have happened, Zach, was that nobody attacked you mid-routine.
It was a Christian school. They would have been really nice about it.
That's fair. Would've. You know what? We have I was going to say we have a friend. We have somebody we know. I consider this person almost a friend. At a time they were friends. I haven't talked to them in 7 years.
It's been 7 days, Steven. We talked 7 days ago.
But we know someone that did perform Billie Jean one time and never stops talking about it.
Well, here I am all these years. And notice how many times we talked about that, and I was like, couldn't be me. I also did have the idea when I was this age that I was going to perform Black or White by Michael Jackson in costume at the talent show.
At the end, were you going to take a makeup wipe and wipe off the black face?
Yeah.
And be like...
Well, it would be half and half.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
Because then
Yeah,
it's not really blackface. It's more
yeah,
like a
couldn't get the lips
Phantom of
right.
the Opera type thing going on.
Watched a lot of Al Jolson and just couldn't get the lips right. They were too silly.
Oof. Is that a blackface? Is that a minstrel show person?
I think he won an
Nice.
Oscar.
Wow.
Maybe
Well, to be fair, you can
2022
commit
was
a
a
lot of
big year for
crimes
movies.
and still win
Still
Oscars.
won an Oscar. Yep. Yep. And I even wanted to get some of my friends to act out the like Macaulay Culkin, John Goodman bit from the beginning of it.
Nice.
And I was gonna like come out as Michael Jackson and like save the day. Yeah, so that's my story.
I like it. That's really good.
Thanks.
Think if I hadn't poked and prodded you.
What happened? How did that start?
I think it was weighing on your chest and you just kind of let it
No,
slip
I
out.
haven't thought about that in a long time. You said something about putting on a glove, I think, to do something. I don't know, but we're here, and how much fun has this been?
I was talking about being tired. And then I started singing a Drake song, and then you said, yeah, like this one time I used to. But Solar Opposites, new season came out. I like that show.
I think we're getting close to watching the season before that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I am, well, you would know because you do keep a rigorous schedule of the order of things you must watch. I have a question. Scale of 1 to 10.
Yes,
10
the Michael Jackson costume.
10 being complete autonomous control. 0 being they don't get to pick a goddamn thing. How much influence does Lil have on the order of shows that you watch?
Well, one of the shows that we're watching now that we've been watching for a while is one that they picked out. They understand that I'm weird and I have a list and they just have to go with it. But like anytime, especially as we've been together longer, and Lil, don't weigh in on this. If Lil says we need to watch this show, I will add it to the list. It'll be at the end of the list, like anything would be if I add it to the list. But like I've added a bunch of things to the list that are Lil's. Lil, we're watching Schitt's Creek right now, and you
Schitt's Creek is great.
We watched Letterkenny, and you picked it. And
I like
we're
Letterkenny.
soon to watch. I think Twin Peaks is on the list because you want to watch it.
Don't act like
Lil. We've watched so much of What We Do in the Shadows. We just haven't watched the more recent seasons because we're not there yet. I said quiet. I said Steven,
Glee's like 11 seasons.
Yeah, we are watching Glee next. But it's been 6 years of us together. I've been threatening to watch Glee, and we're just now getting to it. I think with that mindset, you could understand that, yes, I add little shows to the list, but they take a while because it takes us a while to get to anything. I just watched Better Call Saul the last season, like over a year later. And yeah. What?
I remember when Michael Jackson died, and I think it was during the American Idol season, and they were like, we don't have the rights to his song, so instead we're just gonna play the Michael Jackson episode of So You Think You Can Dance this week.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I thought maybe they like didn't have any of the rights to his music, but they could do all of Tito's solo career.
Now a Jermaine classic that everyone loves. So Danny and I have been watching the last couple weeks. We've watched 2 of them now because for a school project, she had to read a book in English and write like 3 or 5 pages about said book. So she was like, I'm getting there, Zach. A good story enthralls you and begs you to ask said question.
Okay, well, give me there.
Book?
Get me there. My globe ain't sparkling right now. Make it sparkle.
And she was like, wow, there's not enough in this to write multiple pages about. So then she read the second one and had to read all the books to get enough to fill her 3 to 5 page report.
I feel like there's a lot of people on the internet that would write dozens of pages about chapter.
Quite literally, 50 Shades of Grey was Twilight fan fiction originally.
Right.
So
they just changed the names.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder, in the original fan fiction version of it, is it like an Edward and Bella thing? Or is it
I think so.
Weird random characters?
No, I think it's Edward and Bella. Unless it's like Carlisle.
Well, have you I've seen the first 50 Shades of Grey movie. That's the only thing I know about 50 Shades of Grey is I saw the first movie. And it's like about him being like a business mogul and like finding this. I feel like they had to change a little bit more.
I think they changed a lot.
Or the original fan fiction had to be like only those characters in name. I'd be interested to find like the original fanfic version.
So good night and baby. I can't sing Helen.
Thoughts on on My Chemical Romance?
I think Black Parade's really good.
Yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts exactly.
Literally for real. I believe it. It's edgy and mostly poorly written. But
The Black Parade is a great album, and they have a few other good songs.
They have some good songs. Gerard Way's face scares me a little bit, but most white men do. But Danny's never seen the movies. Yes, that was one of the ones that we used to ride around and listen to.
I was like, you were like, I don't know about them, and I was like, I get it, I don't know about them, but this album was really good. Check it out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But Danny and I watched the first Twilight with my mom last week, and then last night we watched New Moon, which I remember when I first saw, because I watched all the movies with my mom as like a young adult or young teen.
I saw them all with my older sister.
Nice. Well, the first one we saw, and I was like, okay, that's fine. And then we saw the second one where I was like, oh shit, these are really bad. And then going forward, it was like a joke thing watching them. And last night watching the second one, it was just as bad, if not worse than I remember. Very funny. A lot of terrible acting choices all across the board.
Did you read any of the books?
Yeah, I read the first books. My mom got it for me as a joke.
And you were like,
Yeah, but I have a question, Zach. Were you team Edward or team Jacob? You're white, so I think I know the answer, but
I think it kind of goes to show with how we look at ships in the TV shows that we watch that I don't really write a headcanon. I like to let the story do its thing. So for me, it was always so obvious that it was going to be about Edward and Bella. And like Jacob was just a side character. So I wasn't like, I was just like, you guys are stupid because it's so clear what's going to happen.
I was team Jacob.
Why? He wants to fuck
not until the last fucking movie. That was like 5 minutes left in the entire series.
Yeah, but
you bet you know that when you were picking at the beginning.
I think he gives off the vibes from the beginning. I think you can tell. You can usually tell.
Like, he's gonna be sniffing their kid.
He's gonna show up to the adult diaper store.
Yeah. What was that? Once Upon a Baby?
My Inner Baby. I've driven past it while doing orders. And
are they open again?
I think it's a different location. I think they moved.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah, I had a chat last time I was there to pick up my heavy-duty adult baby wipes. The little kid ones just don't get in
Don't do it.
They don't clean a man the way a man needs after his diaper is full.
After his diaper is full.
I read the first Twilight book and I read most of the second one, but the second book
I agree, Lil.
Has like 125 pages of Bella being depressed because Edward broke up with her.
Yeah.
And that wasn't interesting at all to me. Yeah, so I never finished the second book and I never read the third and fourth one. But I saw all the movies. And same with, I feel like the third one is okay. And then part one of the last one is awful.
Real bad.
And it's just like, I saw that with my older sister in the theater, and it's
was like awkward.
It's like an hour of them figuring out how to have sex with each other, and then figuring out how the baby is going to come out of her.
Yeah, and then she's pregnant for 6 minutes.
Second half is like the plot of the thing, and it has a Green Day song that was licensed specifically for the movie.
Wow!
And I made my sister not leave until after the song played during the credits.
Well, I made my mom and Danny sit there until Decode by Paramore played at the end of the first one.
Yep.
Now, was that licensed for the first movie? Do you know that info? Can you spit that at me? Can you throw that my way?
Well, licensed doesn't mean written for. The Green Day song happened to be like off of their new album, and I think it might have been in the movie before the album came out. So they were like, "Hey, take this new song and you can have it." I bet
Paramore was the same situation
I don't know.
there.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Well, in anime, a lot of times artists will like make a song for the show.
Yeah.
But
right. I
like
mean,
they'll get like a screening of the first couple episodes, and then
like
they'll write a song about it.
Songs that get nominated for best song at the Oscar, those are like commissioned specifically for.
Well, they gotta be. It's best original song.
Best original song. Yep. But like, I don't
Guardians
think
of the Galaxy.
I don't think Green Day would have been able to get. But I'm saying like I don't think Green Day could have gotten an Oscar nomination, even though they should. They were robbed for their song "The Forgotten."
Yeah.
Because it was from their album, and it was. I don't know. I don't know if that would work or not. Clearly, the Academy wasn't listening. I wanted.
Go ahead. Go.
So Lil and I went to Bloomington to meet.
That wasn't supposed to sound angry. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Everything we do kind of sounds angry at each other. Yeah. It's okay. I don't feel anything off of it anymore. I've got that glove to absorb all my feelings.
Yeah.
That's all I need. We went to Bloomington to meet our friend's newborn baby. It's been like 3 months and we hadn't met the baby yet. Kind of boring, and can't hold a conversation.
They don't do much when
Doesn't
they're
know
that small.
shit about TV. I can't even
throw
talk
them.
about. Yeah. I was trying to explain to them why Better Call Saul was so good, and it was like they were just like pissing.
They had never even seen Breaking Bad, so like,
so stupid.
I saw someone we know, two someones we know.
Okay.
Last week, Connor and Marjorie. I got dinner with them last week. Yeah, they were in town. I hadn't seen them in a long time.
Cool. They've kind of become more friends over the last year or so.
Yeah.
But okay, so we went to the Turkish restaurant in Bloomington. Super good. It was super good. And whenever I'm around people that have a baby, especially knowing like how people are particular about how they want other people to be around their baby, about how people in public, like random strangers, have such like weird ownership over like, let me put my face into your baby.
Yeah, no, don't touch my fucking kid.
And it's not cool. And our waitress, who was very nice and very lovely, like several times she like came up to us and like looked at the baby and like that was fine. But then like put her arms out and was like, give her to me, come here, baby. And both times, and it happened once in we just kind of changed the subject and then she left.
Worker
and I know. And then a second time, like the baby was just getting a little bit fussy and the parents were like doing what they needed to do and take care of him. She came out, she's like, come to me, I'll help the baby.
Give me the baby.
And it just made me cringe really hard. Like,
yeah. My job used to be holding my brother and sister and not letting anyone touch them at like church or things like that. That was my job. They was like, hold the baby, don't let anyone put their fingers on them.
Just because it's gross, and also like just healthy boundaries in all ways.
Yeah,
like don't make
babies get sick really fucking easy, and people are
really
gross.
easy. Don't like predetermine that the kid feels comfortable if a stranger just like grabs him and holds him and kisses up on him and stuff. Like it should be really, really trusted, close people.
Like people would always try and hug my little sister even when she was like a toddler, and I'm like, no, don't get the fuck away.
Like I would let a friend hold my baby or a family hold my baby or maybe even like a family friend, but it would have to be like would you like to hold my baby? It's never going to be like, oh, let me take the baby. That's all.
I don't ask people to hold their babies. I love babies so much. Never ask anyone to hold one. I don't want to be aggressive.
We got like 2 minutes. So
I can finish.
Oh, please.
My thoughts.
Let me take my glasses off.
Solar Opposites, enjoying it. There's some funny stuff. I don't think this is the funniest season, but I do think that how they handled the Justin Roiland thing was really funny.
Was it pretty much what was in the trailer?
Yeah, that's like how the season starts. Like that's like the trailer is like the first clip. Like he like stabbed in the throat. He's like, it's just this way now. And honestly, the only thing that suffers even remotely is you know how the intro is like they like do the thing and then he like says like a
trails
little
off at
blurb.
The end.
Yeah, that always sounds super improvisational, like he's like making up on the spot, and it doesn't quite sound that way anymore. But that's literally 2 seconds of the entire episode, so I don't really care.
I haven't watched yet. I'll be curious to see. What I'd imagine, they probably had written the season before stuff was going down. They might have even animated some of the season before stuff went down because it's been less than a year. So they probably just rushed into production that opening segment. So they could have a little thing to reference it. And then that's why they're like, oh, and I'm never going to mention it ever because the season was already
and all the flashbacks, it's going to sound like this too because it had these little guys. Yeah, it's good though. I'm enjoying it. It's a funny show.
Well, it'll be really interesting to see what Rick and Morty does because they're starting to gear up that the new season of that is coming relatively soon. And that's probably a similar thing where I'm sure they'd at least written the season already when things were going down. So it'll be interesting to see what they do and if they mention it at all.
Yeah. How do you think I thought the most recent season of Rick and Morty was really funny.
I haven't watched it yet either.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to go back and watch the most recent Solar Opposites and Rick and Morty with Justin Roiland.
And then
knowing that like this is the last episodes with the original voice. Not that I give a fuck about Justin Roiland. But it'll be
clearly you're not an internet bro, quite the way that you portray yourself to be, because yes. That's the bit.
Classic characters Rock and Murdy. Steven, how do you think we'd do if we had a baby together? Do you think we'd be a good pair of parents? What do you think each of our roles would be?
I think we'd have.
I feel like I'd be the mommy, you'd be the daddy, right?
I think I'd have to be.
You'd come home and we'd both be sobbing, and you'd have to give us both our binkies.
Like, I left something in the car.
You're out working all day. Your job is dance.
Was your dad a sit in the car outside or sit in the garage a little too long to avoid coming in type of dad? Just hoping that the fumes fill up just
My
enough.
dad was the every time it rains or storms, he sits outside on the back porch in dead silence by himself.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's intense.
Like
I'd be
every
scared
time.
of that guy.
Yeah, I bet you would. Yeah, a lot of us are. So that's the pre-show. I'll be back next week. I'll try to dig up the Michael Jackson costume.
If you can get a photo of that, that'd be stellar.
I have
yearbook?
Liberty yearbook, but I don't think it's that one. I don't know if I feel comfortable writing on Facebook, hey, can anyone that went to Liberty
does anyone have a photo of me
find
dressed
the
as Michael Jackson at a basketball game, possibly?
Yeah. You know, I was gonna go deeper, but I'll neglect to go deeper. Was I not cute enough for him, do you think? Was I just like
Michael Jackson or your dad?
Michael Jackson. Is it just because we were in wrong place at the wrong time?
Wrong place, wrong time.
You think
you were plenty cute?
You think if he had seen me on the Neverland carousel? Oh yeah, there's a great picture that my mom had taken of me that used to make me want to kill myself, and now it only kind of does. And I used to have like reddish blondish hair that almost makes me look like I have like frosted tips.
Wow.
And it's of me with like a beret on, and I have like a megaphone, and I'm like laying on the ground like this.
Nice.
And it says like director Zachary Pruitt, and then like
That's
quote, this film is gonna be a big hit.
I'm into just past toddlers in positions of power.
No, again, too old. Like 8.
8's fine.
Like 10 at the oldest. I don't remember how old I am, but I look like
10 is okay.
Not a young man, but
elementary.
Like a boy. Certainly a boy, but not like a toddler.
Elementary school, it's okay to do that kind of thing, I think. Follow your dreams.
That
and your mom kind of made you.
I think
I doubt you were like, Mother, please, I must have a photo shoot as a director. So in my in memoriam, when I'm older, they show that and then me as an adult director.
Well, you know, I think it was more melding of the minds. I think my mom would be like, what can we take a picture of? And I'd be like, I like movies. And she'd be like, do this really, trigger warning. Do this really.
White parents would never assume that their child was anything other than heteronormative.
Quote from my mother when she forced me to come out of the closet to her without any forewarning, as if I was in trouble. She was like, I just thought you were okay with it. I didn't think you were it. That's the pre-show, folks. We're gonna go talk about The Good Place. We'll see you next week. Bye.